Hello and welcome to Native Explorer. This isn't just another video you'll forget in 5 minutes. What you're about to hear might honestly shift the direction of your life. Not because it's loud or flashy, but because it reveals what most people never stop to examine. These aren't the obvious mistakes you've heard repeated online. These are the hidden patterns buried in your routine. The ones that make life feel normal, even while you're quietly falling apart inside. Some of these habits are silently wrecking your potential. Others are draining your confidence like a slow leak. And some are stealing years from you without making a sound. But if you're watching this right now, it means one thing. You're not asleep. There's something inside you, something awake and aware that knows it's time for a shift. You want more. You're ready to stop existing and start becoming. And for that, I honor you. This space on Native Explorer isn't about toxic positivity or copying everyone else's formula for success. This is about raw growth mindset that matters. Truth that's not afraid to go deep. And above all, this is about helping you return to the person you were always meant to be, even if the world tried to shrink you. If you've been feeling stuck, distracted, unseen, or tired of faking it, then stay with me. Because we're going to dig deeper than most ever dare to. We're not here to sugarcoat. We're here to wake up. And yes, while this will help you grow mentally and emotionally, it will also sharpen your English. Let's go. The first hidden habit is overthinking, the mental loop that steals your power. Let's start with one of the sneakiest enemies, overthinking. You've probably convinced yourself it's a form of intelligence. It feels like being careful. But here's the truth. It's not deep thought. It's mental quicksand. It pulls you in, keeps you spinning, and never lets you act. Overthinking is like rehearsing pain that hasn't happened. You run scenarios in your mind over and over, imagining every judgment, every failure, every worst-case outcome. And in the end, you're exhausted. Not from doing, but from thinking about doing. You had a goal last year. Maybe starting a YouTube channel, a blog, a business. The ideas felt exciting at first. But then the voice crept in. What if I embarrass myself? What if people don't take me seriously? What if I fail publicly? So instead of moving forward, you shut down. And now here you are, 1 year later, no progress made. Not because you weren't capable, but because you talked yourself out of your own dream. The truth? Overthinking doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. It dresses up fear in the language of logic. So what do? Act before you feel ready. Start before your mind has the chance to spiral. Take imperfect action. Launch it messy. Do it while you're still unsure. One single step, no matter how rough, will give you more momentum than 1,000 perfect thoughts. Remember, overthinking doesn't mean you're smart. It means you're scared, but you're dressing it up in analysis. And fear in disguise is still fear. The second habit is procrastination, the silent killer of dreams. You're not failing because you're lazy. You're failing because you've convinced yourself that tomorrow is a safe option. Every time you say, "Not now, I'll do it later," you feed a dangerous illusion. The illusion that time will wait, that opportunity will pause, that your future self will somehow become superhuman. But tomorrow is a lie we use to comfort ourselves while our dreams wither. There was a man named Leo. He had a powerful vision to write a book that would help people. For months, he said, "I'll start soon. Just need to get into the right mindset." Then one day, his mother passed away suddenly. The grief shattered him. The book never got written. Now, when people ask why he never finished, he just says, "I really thought I had more time." Procrastination isn't about time. It's about emotion. We delay what we fear. We avoid what makes us feel vulnerable. And the longer we delay, the more we believe we're the kind of person who always delays. And that's how your identity quietly erodes. So how do you break it? Start treating your future like a person you love. Would you let someone steal their health, growth, and happiness? Because that's what you do every time you choose delay over discipline. You don't need to feel motivated. You don't need the perfect playlist or mood lighting. You need to act. Even if it's small. Even if it's just 10 minutes. Do it anyway. Don't let the habit of not today steal another year. Make right now your new default. The third habit is phone addiction, the illusion of connection that keeps you numb. Let's get brutally honest. What's the very first thing you reach for when you wake up? If it's your phone, you're not alone. But you're also not free. From the moment your eyes open, your attention is hijacked. You're not tuning into your own thoughts, your own breath, your own goals. You're immediately thrown into someone else's life. Their photos, their opinions, their chaos. And the worst part? It feels normal. Unlike obvious addictions, phone addiction feels subtle. You're not getting drunk. You're not crashing your car. But you are destroying your ability to focus, to feel present, to think clearly. There's a girl named Emma. She dreamed of becoming a designer. Downloaded every course, made a plan. But every time she sat down to work, she'd check a notification, then scroll, then swipe, then switch apps. 3 hours gone, every day, for 6 months. When asked what happened to her dream, her response, "I just didn't have time." But she had time. She just handed it over. Why? Because phones train your brain to crave dopamine. Every scroll gives you a tiny high. But after that high comes the crash. The fog. The guilt. The emptiness. This isn't just distraction. It's neural hijacking. And it's stealing the energy you need to create a meaningful life. So how do you fight back? Put the phone in another room during work. Block apps during focus hours. Replace your morning scroll with a written plan. Replace your night scroll with silence or a book. At first, you'll feel anxious, like something's missing. But soon you'll feel it. Your clarity returning. Your ability to think deeply coming back. You don't have to give up your phone, but you do have to take control. The fourth habit is pornography, the quiet addiction that destroys passion and purpose. Let's talk about something people avoid. And that's exactly why it's destroying lives in silence. Porn. The harmless release. The normal habit. The thing nobody really warns you about because it's so common. But what if I told you this habit is slowly draining your confidence, your drive, your masculine or feminine energy, your emotional depth, and worst of all, your ability to connect with reality? Every time you open that site or scroll through that clip, your brain is hit with a powerful dose of dopamine. A chemical rush that's stronger than what you get from actual intimacy, creativity, or progress. Your mind starts confusing screen pleasure with real-world reward. And over time, the real world just loses color. You stop feeling excited about real people. You lose discipline. You begin to numb out during the day. You feel lazy, foggy, weak, but you can't explain why. Let me give you a real example. There was a young guy named Aiden. Creative, bright, full of ambition. But he was lonely. And every time he felt uncomfortable or rejected or bored, he turned to porn. At first, once a week. Then every day. Then multiple times a day. Soon he stopped going out, stopped working on his goals. He lost his energy and started saying things like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like a ghost of myself." That's not just habit. That's spiritual erosion. Why is it so dangerous? Because it doesn't scream. It whispers. It comforts. But behind the scenes, it's making your brain lazy. It's teaching you that fake connection is enough. And here's the worst part. It becomes your escape. Every time life gets hard, you retreat. And with every escape, your real life becomes smaller. So how do you break free? Don't rely on willpower. Replace the cycle. Move your body. Sweat. Feel your strength. Be around real humans. Journal when you feel triggered. And most importantly, build a purpose so big you don't want to waste another moment hiding behind pixels. You're not broken, but this habit will break you if you don't rise above it. Choose life. Choose presence. Choose purpose. The fifth habit is negative self-talk, the voice inside that destroys you. You might think your biggest enemy is out there, but the truth? Your most dangerous critic lives between your ears. Think about the voice that speaks when you mess up, when you forget something, when you look in the mirror. What does it say? Idiot. Why can't you get anything right? You're not good enough. Who would ever want someone like you? You may laugh it off. You may think it's harmless. But what if someone else said those words to you every day? A friend? A sibling? You'd call it verbal abuse. So why is it okay when you do it to yourself? Every time you speak to yourself like that, you're shaping your identity. Not just your mood. Your actual belief system. You start to see yourself as lazy, unworthy, unlovable. And what you believe, you start to live out. Take Jason, for example. As a kid, he failed one math test. His teacher casually said, "You're probably not a math person." It didn't feel like a big deal at the time, but that sentence stuck. Years later, every time Jason faced data or numbers, his inner voice echoed, "I'm not good at this." So he avoided jobs, skipped opportunities, turned down a leadership role. Not because he lacked talent, but because he believed he did. That's the power of internal dialogue. So how do you change it? First, listen. Start noticing the phrases you repeat to yourself. Write them down. Then ask, would I say this to someone I care about? If not, it doesn't belong in your head. Then reframe. Not with cheesy affirmations, but with grounded truths. I'm not perfect, but I'm learning. I've made mistakes, but I'm not a mistake. I'm worthy of better, even if I've settled before. This isn't fluff. This is survival. Because if you let your inner voice stay poisoned, it will quietly shape a life of quiet desperation. Heal your language, heal your life. The sixth habit is comparison, the trap that kills joy and progress. Let's get honest again. How many times have you scrolled through your feed and felt worse? Someone younger than you just bought their dream house. Someone else launched a business. Someone's on vacation in Bali, drinking green juice with perfect lighting and perfect skin. You haven't even had coffee yet, and suddenly your life feels small. That's not coincidence. That's the trap of comparison. And it's a war you fight silently. You don't hate them. You're not evil. But inside, you start whispering to yourself, why am I not there yet? What's wrong with me? Why is my life so messy? And little by little, your excitement fades. Your confidence shrinks. You start doubting everything. Your pace, your decisions, your worth. Let me tell you a story. In a sunny field stood a single sunflower, bright tall, reaching toward the light. Every day it grew a little stronger, a little higher. People smiled when they saw it. But one day, it noticed a huge oak tree in the distance. Massive, strong, grounded. Birds rested in its branches. Suddenly the sunflower felt weak. It stopped stretching. It stopped blooming. It started asking, why can't I be like that? But here's the truth. The sunflower was never meant to be an oak. Its beauty was in its direction, reaching for the sun, not the sky. That's what comparison does. It steals your joy by convincing you to measure your life by someone else's timeline. The reality? You don't know their full story. You don't see the therapy behind their confidence, the heartbreak behind their smile, the anxiety behind their success. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. So what's the solution? Set boundaries with social media. If it drains you, limit it. Focus on your path. Celebrate your progress, even if it's slower, even if it's quieter. Practice gratitude. Write down 3 things every day that you're proud of, no matter how small. And remind yourself, you can admire others without erasing yourself. Your journey matters, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. The 7th habit is the motivation myth, the dream killer in disguise. Let me ask you something real. How many goals have died while you were waiting to feel ready? You wanted to start the podcast, build the brand, go to the gym, fix your life. But something inside kept saying, not yet. I'm just not in the right headspace. Maybe next week. Here's the truth that most people never realize. Motivation is not what gets you moving. Movement is what creates motivation. Most people believe successful people wake up inspired. They imagine that the ones who made it are always fired up, always clear, always in the zone. But that's a lie. The reality? They moved even when they were unsure. They acted even when they didn't feel like it. They created a system, not a feeling. Here's a story to prove it. 2 students had the same dream, to launch a podcast. One kept saying, I want to, but I need to improve my voice. I need better equipment. I need to feel more confident. He kept researching, planning, preparing, but he never uploaded anything. The second one? He was nervous too. His accent wasn't perfect. His mic was cheap, but he hit record anyway. He uploaded episode 1, then another, and another. At first, no one listened. His voice shook, but he kept going. 6 months later, people noticed. 1 year later, he was hosting guests. 2 years in, he was earning income from the very thing he almost didn't start. Not because he was better, but because he didn't wait. You see, motivation tricks you. It makes you believe that patience is smart, that you're waiting for the right moment. But deep down, you're just avoiding discomfort. The door won't open on its own. You have to push it, even when it's heavy. So how do you escape the trap? Lower the bar. Don't try to be perfect. Try to begin. 5 minutes, that's all. Build rituals. Set a specific time. Make it a habit, not a debate. You won't feel ready most days, and that's okay. Show up anyway. Momentum is your real ally. Motivation is just the byproduct. Start before you feel confident, because that's how confidence is built. The 8th habit is the half-finished life, the habit that breaks trust with yourself. Let me tell you something painful. Not finishing what you start is more damaging than never starting at all. Why? Because it teaches your brain that your word means nothing. Every time you begin a project with excitement and then abandon it halfway, you're telling your subconscious, I'm unreliable. I quit when it's hard. I can't follow through. And over time, that becomes your self-image. You start a book. Feel inspired. Take notes. Highlight quotes. Then forget about it a week later. It's collecting dust. You join a course. First 2 modules, amazing. Then you miss 1, then 2, then you drop off completely. This happens again and again until one day you look around and realize you've built a life full of unfinished dreams and open loops. Let me share an image. There was an alarm clock. It was programmed to wake someone up at 5 a.m. sharp every morning. At first, it worked. The person got up, energized, full of drive. But soon, he started pressing snooze. Once, then twice, then every day. Eventually, he didn't hear the alarm anymore. Not because it was broken, but because his brain stopped responding. That's what happens to your goals. They stop calling you because you stop showing up. So what's the solution? Start by finishing something. Anything small. Even if it's as simple as folding your laundry or writing one paragraph. Rebuild the trust, brick by brick. Set clear outcomes. Don't say, I want to write a book. Say, I'll finish chapter 1 by Friday. Celebrate completion. Track your consistency. Progress matters more than speed. And let go of perfection. An imperfect, finished project will change your life more than a flawless idea that lives in your head forever. When you complete something, you send a new signal to your mind. I keep my promises. I close my loops. I follow through. That's not just achievement. That's identity. The ninth habit is the comfort zone, the quietest, most dangerous place you'll ever stay. It feels warm, familiar, safe. The comfort zone. You know it well. It's the job you hate but won't leave. The relationship that drains you but feels too scary to walk away from. The dream you shelved, telling yourself, maybe one day. Comfort doesn't hurt you today. That's why it's so dangerous. It doesn't slap you. It whispers, you're fine. Don't risk anything. Just stay where you are. But behind that soft whisper is slow death. Your energy fades. Your vision dulls. You start to exist, not live. Let me tell you a simple story. In the back of an old art store, there was a paintbrush. High quality, unused. Bought by someone who once dreamed of becoming a painter. That person used it once or twice, then got busy, got scared. Life took over. The brush was placed in a drawer just for now. Years passed. One day during spring cleaning, the now middle-aged man found the brush again. Stiff, dusty, unused. It hadn't worn out from being used. It had dried up from being ignored. That's what happens to your potential. Not because you failed, but because fear convinced you not to try. So why do we stay comfortable? Because discomfort feels risky. But what we don't realize is comfort is just slow destruction dressed as peace. The cost? One day you'll sit in a quiet room, no distractions, just memories. And you'll wonder, what did I do with my one life? And the answer won't be failure. It'll be regret. So what do? Stretch daily. Say yes before you feel ready. Do one thing that scares you. Talk to someone new. Publish that post. Take that course. Apply for that job. Make bravery your new normal. The truth? Everything you want, confidence, passion, transformation, impact, it's all just on the other side of your comfort zone. But you have to move to meet it. Final words. The power is yours now. Now you know. These 9 habits are not loud. They don't scream. They don't announce themselves. But they are powerful. They shape your future when you're not paying attention. You've seen how they work, how they enter quietly, settle in, and slowly build a life of avoidance, regret, and limitation. But knowledge is only the beginning. What you do next? That's what defines your life. Take the first step today. Reclaim your energy. Rewire your inner voice. Rewrite your patterns. And remember this: you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are one decision away from everything changing. If this spoke to you, share it. Reflect on it. Return to it whenever you need to remember what you're made of. Your future isn't waiting. It's being shaped by what you choose now. So choose power. Choose growth. Choose to rise. This is Native Explorer, and I'll see you in the next one.